Hi, welcome to Right to the Top. I'm Adam. In today's video, I want to talk to you about vocabulary. Now, for those of you who have seen previous videos of mine, you'll notice that I always say, if you want a higher score in your IELTS or TOEFL writing section, you're going to need to include some high-end vocabulary. I think lately, however, I've been seeing a lot of sample essays, and I think that people may be taking it a little bit too far, and they're spending a little bit too much energy on the vocab. And I think, maybe I haven't been entirely clear with you when it comes to vocab. So today we're going to look at Lexical Resource. This is one category that your writing is scored on, 1 out of 4 categories. And I'm going to give you 5 tips to a better vocab score. Okay? Now, first of all, as I mentioned, Lexical Resource for the IELTS, this is 1 of 4 criteria by which they assess your writing. Okay? The TOEFL, again, it's also one of the parts, one of the categories that they test. Don't think that by putting in a lot of good words, you're going to get a higher score. You still need to worry about task completion. Did you answer the question? You still need to think about cohesion and coherence. Do your ideas flow? Do they link? Is it logical? You still need to think about grammar and accuracy and sentence structure. Everything works together. It's not just one part, okay? So, first thing I'm going to tell you, and I've been saying this a lot lately, but I've been saying it for years. You're trying too hard. You're trying too hard to put in big words, okay? So a lot of you are just overreaching. I've seen some vocab in here that even native speakers in university don't use, okay? Make sure that you don't memorize the thesaurus. A thesaurus is like a dictionary, except it only gives you synonyms and antonyms. So if you're going online to use a dictionary like dictionary.com or merriam-webster.com, they'll give you a dictionary option or the thesaurus option. Use both, but don't try to memorize the thesaurus. It's a hard word to say. Thesaurus, okay? I've seen people, they're obviously just putting in every synonym they could find from the thesaurus to try to impress the graders. You're not impressing the graders. They know you're memorizing words. Make sure that the words you're using are natural. Make sure that it's the right context, the right form, everything else, and be consistent. If you have simple sentence, simple sentence, simple sentence, simple sentence, big word, that big word sticks out. And as the grader, I know that you memorized this word and we're just looking for an opportunity to use it. Doesn't help you, okay? Here's an example. I received this essay from someone. This is the introduction. Recently, the disputations of how to diminish traffic accidents are in vogue. The question is about what are some causes of increased traffic accidents? What are some suggestions to fight this? So, we have disputations, we have diminish, we have in vogue. Launching rigorous laws to fine offenders, this is a good word, is supported by some people. Nevertheless, others suggest initiatives to prevent drivers, pedestrians, wrecks, perspectives. A lot of good words here, but it's a thesaurus put into sentence form. A lot of these words just shouldn't be used here. Some of them just don't need to be used here. For example, disputations. Disputations, first of all, I would write disputes, not disputations. And even then, I wouldn't say disputes, I'll say there's debate. When people are saying, okay, what do we do, right? So, launching rigorous laws. Launching, first of all, you would introduce, you wouldn't launch laws, you would introduce laws, or you would implement laws. In vogue, talking about traffic is never in vogue, it's never in fashion, it's never in style, it's not trendy. This is not something people like to do. This is something that government, politicians do, police officers do. Again, so all of these words, all they tell the grader is that you've memorized an academic word list and you're just trying to pile it all into your essay. And this is actually working against you. So look at this. If you want, you can press pause on your video player, read this again, try to make sure you understand it. Again, I understand what the message is, but I'm a little bit overwhelmed by all the vocab. It's too much, more than necessary. And this person was writing for the general test. Even for the academic test, I would say this is too much. For the general, it's way too much. They don't expect so many high-end academic words. Here's the same paragraph. I used better sentence structure. I combined ideas, simpler words. Recently, there has been much debate as to how to reduce traffic accidents. Be direct, be clear, get the message across. That's more impressive than a lot of big words. While some suggest introducing stricter laws, so stricter is a good word, others argue that more novel ideas. Novel, there's my high-end word, and it's in the right place, it's the right context, it's an uncommon word, and it means exactly what it's supposed to mean. New, fresh ideas are required, and then I go on. 2 good words is more than enough. Everything else, you're just trying too hard, and the graders know this, okay? So now another thing, here's another example, and all of the examples I'm going to show you in this video are from actual student essays. Another merit of living in an abode is the amount of living area. The essay is asking, is it better to compare living in a house and living in an apartment, and say which you prefer. Another merit of living in an abode, so this is the beginning of the second body paragraph. In the first body paragraph, this person gave arguments why a house is better. Another merit of living in an abode. Now, first of all, this word abode sticks out. An abode, first of all, it's correct. You live in an abode. Abode is the place you live, basically. But a house is an abode. An apartment is an abode. If you live in a tent, like permanently live in a tent, that is an abode. Anywhere you live is an abode. So abode does not mean house, right? So right away, the grader understands that you memorized this word, you saw this word, you thought it was a good word, and now you're trying to use it in your essay. And this is actually hurting your score, not helping it, because you're not using it correctly, okay? Which brings us to tip number 2. Don't use any word or expression that you're not 100% sure of, okay? Make sure that you know how to use it, the meaning, you know when to use it, the context, etc., okay? If you're not 100% sure, don't use it. Use a simpler word. Examples. This essay will argue that companies scarcely advertise products that we need. On the other hand, we have little to no use for most of the advertised products. The 2 sentences have a very clear opposite relationship. The second one says, no, it's actually not what they think. It's the opposite. The problem is that on the other hand doesn't show opposite. It shows contrast. It means different way. So this is not the correct expression here. What this person wanted to use was on the contrary, to show that no, it's actually the opposite, not just different, okay? The first advantage of liquidating the old buildings. So again, should we get rid of historical buildings? Are they important? Should we keep them, etc.? That's the essay topic. Here, the problem is liquidating. Now, if you liquidate a person, it means you kill them, you destroy them, you get rid of them. If you liquidate an old building, it means you're selling it and getting the cash. So this person had more or less the right idea, but the wrong context. You can liquidate a person, kill them, destroy them. If you liquidate a thing, an asset, something that's of value, it means you're converting it into cash. So what you should use here, just destroy. Use a simple word, destroy. If you want it a little bit better, demolish. Demolish means like destroy, but you're talking about a structure. Cutting down a large number of trees to provide staple for paper factories and as fuel. Staple are things that people use every day. It's for survival. So for example, when you talk about staples at home, like bread, milk, eggs, cheese, these are staples. These are things we eat every day as part of our diet. Trees in a workshop, in a factory, they are not staples. These are raw materials. Again, staple is a good word if you're using it in the correct context. Here, it's not. The person obviously memorizes. Next, don't fall in love with any word or expression. I'll give you an example. Recent research shows troubled children were more receptive to advice, etc. This is an excellent collocation, more receptive to. The problem is that this person used it 3 times in the essay. The grader understands. You memorized this expression and you're just using it every chance you get. Use it once to show you know it. Don't use it again. Try not to repeat, but that's coming up as another tip. So don't use anything more than once or twice. I had one student, I was teaching the SAT, okay, a while back, and I had a student who fell in love with this word, potentate. Now, a potentate is a ruler, a monarch, a dictator, a very strong ruler who controls his nation or his territory, etc., or her, if the case may be. It's a person with great power. Excellent word. The problem is that this student somehow managed to get this word into almost every essay he wrote. And it was a bit shocking. He used it to mean CEO, industry leader, a general in the army, a strong teacher. A strong teacher is not a potentate. You can't use this word in any context. If you're talking about a king, if you're talking about a dictator, sure, go ahead and use potentate. Otherwise, say what the person is, okay? Just because you like the word, doesn't mean you're using it correctly, okay? More is not better. If you are using too many words where there's another word that means the exact same thing, use that one word. One word is better than 3 words. On the other hand, stopping the circulation of cars in the downtown area will have some drawbacks. Stopping the circulation of. Instead, just use prohibiting cars in the downtown area. So first of all, circulation, you can't talk about cars in circulation. Money is in circulation. It goes in, around, and bank to the customer, to the bank, to the customer. That's circulation. Cars just drive. You can't take them out of circulation. There is no circulation about traffic. So you prohibit cars. Instead of using 4 words, use 1. Last one. Don't rely only on synonyms, okay? Just because you found synonyms for a word, you have 2 or 3 synonyms, even if you use that one word too many times, not good. If you use the synonyms too many times, also not good. Find other ways to express the idea, okay? So here's an example. Don't worry about reading this whole paragraph. This is from one essay. What I want you to notice, you can have a quick look, and then cities, villages, towns. In this essay, the writer used the word city 13 times. 13 times. That is a problem because A, there are synonyms to the word city. You can talk about urban area. You can talk about high population areas. You can talk about all kinds of different synonyms for cities and towns. But then if you're using the synonyms too many times, rewrite your sentences so you don't have to. Use pronouns. Use different structures that you can eliminate the need for the word city. So I took one of the sentences there. Big cities have more career and social options. These include higher number, etc. So cities, towns, villages, cities. I used cities twice, villages, towns twice. Here's this sentence rewritten. Big cities have more career and social options. And I squeezed the 2 first sentences together, including a higher number and variety of jobs, which is one of the main reasons a lot of people spend hours commuting there to work. There is your second city. I said the exact same thing. I only use the word city once, okay? And then it's fine. Then in the next sentence, you use urban area, etc., or downtown core, etc. Find other ways to say it without having to say that same word so many times, okay? And that's basically it. Very straightforward. High-end words are important, but don't concentrate only on big words. And big words don't have to be big words. They could be 1-syllable words that are just not commonly used. Staple, excellent word. Make sure you use it in the right context, okay? If you have any questions, please ask me in the YouTube comment section. I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you like the video, please give me a like. Please subscribe to my channel. And come back for more videos about grammar, vocab, writing, test tips, and so on. See you again soon. Bye-bye.